know that Kody's name is on every single property. Robyn's is on 3. So they own the monopoly.
I believe Kody is resistant getting an appraisal because he knows he's making out like a bandit.
I'll be honest, I've thought about screwing her.
How dare you?
Freeze! You're under arrest for being a horrible person and a terrible polygamist. Did this polygamist financially exploit his first 3 wives, which have now all left him, to benefit his favorite and only remaining wife, Robyn? I did the math for you. I have broken down the dollars and cents of everything, of how unevenly the family funds were distributed, and how it all went to the perfect Diesel Jeans model herself. Robyn would have us believe that everything has always been equal amongst the 4 wives. But is there even a shred of truth to that? Spoiler alert, there's not. Before we get to the McMansions and the art and the toys and all the stuff we've been talking about, it's important to establish that this didn't just start recently or when COVID hit, like they sometimes allude to. Before we get to COVID and $1 million homes and all of that, we need to talk about the early days of Robyn getting bigger and better things than the other wives. At the end of season 1 of Sister Wives, TLC premiered a bonus honeymoon special that showed Kody and Robyn embarking on a 10-day honeymoon, which all 3 wives were shown having a problem with. The San Diegan honeymoon wasn't the only honeymoon Kody and Robyn would end up going on. In season 9, we watched Mary legally divorce Kody so that Kody could legally marry Robyn. The reasoning we were told was that if anything happened to Robyn, her kids wouldn't go to their biological father and instead would go to Kody and the big family. Oh, you know, the ones she now claims have always treated her kids like crap? Great move, Robyn. Leave your kids with a bunch of monsters. Man, you know what I just realized? Maybe they were never monsters and Robyn's just a huge liar. The show covered a lot involving the legal marriage, but what we didn't see was Kody and Robyn's Hawaiian legal marriage honeymoon. Yeah, Hawaii. Now, even though this wasn't on the show, the trip itself has become somewhat infamous because of the way Robyn responded to the backlash about it. With these hilarious tweets. I took Kody to Hawaii for my birthday in October. Something I always wanted to do. I think we all get a little. Listen to Robyn. Please, mister, can I please get a little lavish vacation to Hawaii? Really, it's the second tweet that got Robyn into hot water. I saved up my grocery money for my trip to Hawaii. Christine has the same opportunity. Now this, Robyn telling Christine to save up her grocery money if she wants to go to Hawaii with Kody. This has really become probably the most famous excuse we have ever been given for why Robyn gets more money spent on her than the other 3. The idea that Robyn's expensive homes and art and toys and lavish vacations are not being paid for by Kody and the family money, but she's just saving her grocery money. She's skimping on food, which we all know she's famous for putting signs on her fridge telling the OG's kids to stay out of her fridge. So, kind of matches that narrative. But do I buy that they lived off of ramen noodles for 3 years and that's how they went to Hawaii? No, nobody buys that. I think even Robyn knows that nobody buys that, but she just, as usual, she has to say something. You know, like, what is she supposed to do? Oh, he took me to Hawaii because God told him to. He's not Garrick Merrifield.
You know, God came and met me and Danielle one day in the garage. I asked God, should Natalia be a wife? And like a wind and presence of God just filled the whole garage. And we just knew.
There's no excuse. She has nothing she can say. This is all she has. I saved up my grocery money. I bought the off-brand butter for 5 years, and look where we are. Hawaii. Poor people. Have you ever thought you can't afford to go to Hawaii? Just start buying the off-brand butter. Just buy Dr. Thunder. Stroll your cart on past the diaper aisle. Let your babies walk around and staple together McDonald's napkins. Who needs real groceries? Just save it all up. And before you know it, you'll be surfing the Hawaiian waves. A 6-person trip to Hawaii. This happened before Ariella was born, so there were only 4 kids at the time. A 6-person trip to Hawaii in 2014 would have meant $3,000 alone just for the flights. Hawaii actually keeps pretty good track of visitor data. So we know that in 2013, the average hotel rate was $242.63. If they stayed 5 nights, that would be $2,426.30 for 2 hotel rooms. Now let's be real. Kody probably got a suite for him and Robyn. But whatever, can't say for sure what kind of rooms they booked. But at a minimum, they are now up to $5,426.30 without yet having purchased a single Hawaiian knickknack for Robyn. Then you have to feed 6 people in Hawaii for a week. I'm gonna say they spent at least $100 a day. That's a very conservative estimate for Hawaii for 6 people. It's one of the most expensive places in the country. And they probably did some sort of activity that costs money, like surfing or a tour, which puts us at a little over $6,000 minimum. Let's be real, I am guessing even in 2014 with a 6-person family, you're looking at more like a $10,000 trip or double that. But I don't want to be accused of bloating the numbers. And they're so greedy that I can be conservative and it's still going to horrify us. Now, all of this financial stuff is tied into the breakup of the family, including one of the biggest points of contention between Christine and Robyn, the nanny.
What does the nanny do?
She was working in a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens, till her boyfriend kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes. The nanny.
Well, I know one thing the nanny does. Get paid. In season 8, Robyn revealed to us she'd hired her step-niece, Mindy Jessup, as a nanny for her children. This is something that has always been controversial for multiple reasons. First off, they started the show off telling us, oh, we do polygamy for the kids. It's such a great lifestyle for the kids. They're not having a lesser than lifestyle. They're having a greater than lifestyle because there's so much help. All of the parents help each other. All the wives are there to help each other. That's one of the motivations to want sister wives, so that they're helping you. This isn't just about feeding the ego of one man who wants to have 80 mazillion children and feel like he's the king of the world. No, 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 it's not that. It's not that, we promise. It's about the help. It's about the kids. But then Robyn's like, oh, I need a nanny. So clearly the system isn't working on its own. Of course, this epically pissed off Christine, who was like, that is my role. I am the child carer. Like, why are you not allowing me to, care for your kids? And the producers always handle Robyn with kid gloves, so we never really get this question answered, but it was so obvious even back then how big the cracks in this family were. Starting in 2014 up to now is 10 years of paying a nanny. We have no idea whether the nanny was full-time or part-time, but I will play it safe and say that Robyn had a part-time nanny for 10 years. Now, remember, this is all just my estimation. Can you tell I'm trying really hard not to get sued? According to care.com, an average hourly rate for a nanny in Phoenix is $19.77 per hour. I'm sure Robyn is not paying her nanny that. So I will just base it off of $12 per hour. That's how cheap I think Robyn is. I'll say they worked 20 hours a week minus 2 weeks vacation, which comes out to $11,040 per year over 10 years. Means a rough estimate of what the nanny possibly could have cost them is $110,400. 100 grand of the family money that would never be given to Mary Janelle or Christine for anything that they needed like that. One of the last things I want to get into before we get the McMansions with the heated driveways and stuff is something Janelle mentions this season, in season 19, about Robyn's backyard looking so nice when they were in Vegas.
But I used to always be surprised at how nice her backyard was. It was completely finished.
While Janelle's in particular looked like they were on the set of Mad Max. It was brutal. Sometimes they would show us footage of the kids back there and I'd be like, is that safe? It looks like a desert apocalyptic wasteland. Meanwhile, Robyn's looks like Mary Poppins, like, the hills are alive, I am the favorite. Now, of course, the landscaping in Robyn's backyard is something that is rumored TLC paid directly for, because it's where they end up having the season 6 commitment ceremony. The one Mary wants to, set the plaque on fire from. Yeah, that one. But TLC is paid for all the, whether it's through their paychecks or just them paying for stuff directly. They chose to do the ceremony in Robyn's backyard for a reason. And it wasn't because of Kody's overwhelming commitment to these women that he turned around and now says he never even loved. And he clearly had it in Robyn's backyard so that they could make Robyn's backyard look nice, so that he could be pleasing to his favorite wife. Installing sod, planting trees and little bushes and stuff is actually more expensive than you'd think it'd be. Just installing that luscious green sod would have cost them a few thousand. I'm going to estimate they put at least $7,000 into this backyard. If you're following the math with me, that means Robyn is spending over $100,000 on things the other three wives don't get access to, like a nicer home, childcare, and lavish vacations. But we're just getting started. It's time to add up the money on the mansions and the toys. COVID and beyond. In season 13, there was an episode of the show titled Flagstaff Flirtation, where Kody goes really hard on convincing his wives and kids that they are going to leave their 4 homes surrounding a cul-de-sac in Las Vegas and move to Flagstaff, Arizona. He convinces his wives that this will be the best thing for the family, and he promises Mary that it will revitalize their long-dead relationship. But what really happens when they move from Vegas is that Kody slowly begins investing everything into Robyn and her kids. This meant his time, his attention, and a large portion of the TLC paycheck. The McMansion was purchased in 2019 for $890,000. And the reason we call it the McMansion is because it has 2 master bedrooms and, well, it's a mansion with 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a wraparound wooden deck. After moving in, they had a heated driveway installed. Now let's look at Christine's house, which was purchased for $525,000 and did not have the $50,000 upgrade. That's a difference of $415,000 between Christine and Robyn's house. And they didn't stop there. Kody and Robyn purchased a second more expensive McMansion like a month ago. This mansion was $2.1 million. That is by far more money than Kody has ever spent on any other wife or her kids. And it feels like a slap in the face considering he asked Isabel to hold out and endure a few more years of scoliosis pain because he was too cheap to pay for the surgery.
I don't really want to go back to Dr. Camp anymore.
Okay, I have to mention this since we're going to be talking about Kody's hair later in the video. Even though the balding noodles get more attention from the fans, in my opinion, this is Kody's worst version of his hair. The Geico Caveman light brown dishwater colored frizz that just cascades from the 2 spots that he gets all his hair from. I just had to say that because there's going to be like a whole thing on his hair later. This is Kody's worst hair.
But I'm not interested in surgery, and I don't want to go there anymore, okay? No. We are not doing surgery. You know, we can wait this out.
Like, this is insane. Even if we subtract Christine's $500,000 that they bought her place with, which Kody about not getting 50% of, by the way, that is a $1.6 million difference, which means overall still $2 million of money he's spending on himself and Robyn that nobody else is getting. And he still wants to screw Janelle over.
I thought about screwing her.
Now let's talk toys. Kody famously buys 3 mini bikes for Robyn's kids during Christmas in season 18. Kody and Robyn also famously bought these 2 matching horsey rings at $6.95 a pop. And well, let's talk about their art collection. The art collection has taken on a life of its own on the internet. From Realiteasquad did a great video on this, and there are people online who think this art collection is worth upwards of $100,000. Kody and Robyn are really into Vladimir Kush. You can see that they have this deer, this sailboat cocktail drink, palm trees in a vase, tree stump with castle behind it, but they're prints. Like, they could have paid thousands for them, or like $5. It's really a matter of how stupid Kody and Robyn are. which is why people think it was thousands. However, we do know some prices for their art collection. All thanks to the Sister Wives subreddit sleuths, Scared Fishermen did the work for us on this one. They went out and found like all the sculptures in Robyn's house. It's amazing. I honestly encourage you to check this thread out for yourself. I linked it in the description. With the prints, they probably cost them tens of thousands of dollars, but it's hard to be sure. With the sculptures, we know. Ascension Blue Bronze Sculpture, $7,900. Bear Hug, $7,000. Another bear, $4,850. More wooden bears, $2,300. A polar bear, $5,500. 2 Orion bears, I calculated the smaller ones just for the benefit of the doubt, $2,100. There is a Tessa Michaels piece called Stardust, $7,280. And that is just what we can see with the naked eye. I'm sure there's a lot more money to be counted. But the total comes to $36,930 just for the sculptures. Does anybody remember when Janelle lived in a college dorm room for like a whole year? I remember when Janelle lived in it. Now, to be fair, these are all estimations. The price of art is always changing. Also, it's possible some of these are knockoffs. It's possible they were much cheaper whenever or wherever Robyn bought them. But it's still a ton of money for a man claiming he didn't have the money to pay off Coyote Pass. Some of you may be sitting at home going, well, I'm sure Mary, Christine, and Janelle have expensive sculptures too. No, they don't. We all saw how Robyn was given special treatment over the years, but to stick a number on it still shocks me. Because when you add everything up that I've been talking about, it comes out to $2,179,096.27. Or a little over $2 million. He spent $2 million more on his favorite wife and her kids than he spent on the old ball and chain, the old never loved him. He did all of this for himself and Robyn. And, oh yeah, he still wants to screw Janelle over.
I've thought about screwing her.
All right. Now let's hear about what they're all saying in regards to the money today, including what they've said on social media, plus a bonus Kody's hair is ridiculous scene I can't not talk about. In the latest episode of Sister Wives, production really focused in on Coyote Pass, the odd nature of the way Kody split the lots up, and how much of a noodle-headed poo-poo head Kody's been acting about paying the whole thing off, which if they didn't, they would risk losing their entire $820,000 investment.
We're finally getting this property in Flagstaff paid off. It is to the wire. Like, I think we have maybe like 5 days. So I don't know what Kody's doing. He's talking about gathering up all the money. I'm like, I'm just gonna wire mine. You guys do what you want, but please just make sure it's there by the freaking deadline.
I'm just gonna wire mine. That's how I feel. You guys do what you want, but please just make sure it's done by the freaking deadline. Otherwise, I will go scorched earth on your asses. You do not want with this metal-headed.
Even though we have these 4 lots, our names are not all on title for these 4 lots. So in anticipation that I may have to fight for my fair part of this property, I have retained a lawyer.
Janelle, keep those wealth hoarders honest. Janelle's talking about the land with her daughter Maddie and Maddie's husband Caleb, and they're like, so how much are you owed?
The 4 acres.
14.
This is not what Janelle is entitled to. At a bare minimum, Janelle is entitled to a quarter of the land. And actually, if you ask me, which nobody is, I think she's entitled to a third. Why are Kody and Robyn walking away with 50% of Coyote Pass? I feel like Satan won today. Kody and Robyn, on top of their $2.2 million they've already spent on themselves, are walking away with half of Coyote Pass. And they bought that land for almost $1 million. That's another $500,000 they are stacking.
Whatever it's turned out, like it was gonna be 4, whatever,
Okay.
Maddie, at this point.
That's fine.
We let him shit his name all over the titles like a polygamous Banksy. I have no legal right to anything but 4 acres. Miri goes over to Kody and Robyn's to, frankly, them a little. It is glorious to watch. She fights with them so hard. Robyn attempts to escape, and Mary's like, where are you going? Get back here.
I used to be like really obsessed Stonehenge, and you knew this. I said you didn't have to leave.
Oh, no. I'm just getting something. There's a sticky
Did you
spot.
not?
We all believe you, Robyn. Mary brings up dividing the land since it's now going to be paid off.
So once this is done,
Then we start discussing like dividing it up to like 4 equal or semi-equal
Yeah, and I
parcels.
Then they hit us in confessional with this nut job Kody blubbering on about how him and Robyn should get even more than the 50% Janelle and Mary have already conceded to them.
So there would be Robyn's 4 acres and then Janelle's 4 acres. And then Mary would have a lot and I would have a lot. And then Mary and I share a lot. The reason I want to do this is because, we got the 5th lot. The kids are able to inherit something special for themselves.
Oh, the kids. Not Kody. Which kids do you think Cody's referring to? The 13 kids he never sees and constantly talks crap about, and most of whom aren't on speaking terms with him? Or his favorite wife's kids, who all still live with them? Which kids are gonna get the biggest slice of that pie? Gee! There has been a lot of chatter online in the Sister Wives community about this moment right here.
Well, I know that Janelle had come to me not a while ago. I can't remember. It was just like, make sure that you protect yourself.
Sister Wives Twitter went off on Mary after this. Twitter was like, snitches get stitches, Mary. You snitch. Why is Mary snitching on Janelle to Robyn and Kody? I actually do feel the Tyra Banks we were rooting for you applies to Mary like almost every episode. Why would Mary tell Kody what Janelle said about the property? Well, Mary actually went live on TikTok and responded to this backlash.
Janelle and I actually were talking about,
yesterday.
yeah, just yesterday, because I'm like, people think that I was throwing you under the bus. And also there's the point that, she said it on camera, so obviously it wasn't going to be a surprise, but they thought that she was I was throwing her under the bus. And I'm like, that was not my intention. And I told her some more information that I'm not revealing to the public. And she's like, all cool. We are all cool. So she didn't feel that way. And all is cool.
If Janelle's cool, I'm cool. Although, I have to admit, when I first watched that scene, I was definitely all, snitches get stitches, just like Twitter. So like,
Make sure that you protect yourself.
Robyn does the classic, what?
Protect yourself? Yeah, I think she was just concerned. I don't know.
Protect yourself? Protect yourself from what? From scary sister wives who can't handle their jealousy of me? How could anyone possibly allude to Kody and I screwing them over? We've only spent $2 million more than everybody else in the family on ourselves. It's just like classic Robyn to like everything. Just, oh my God. How could they even dare allude to the thing we're actively and have always done?
Okay, and I'll be honest, I've thought about screwing her. But I won't. My wife with a conscience won't let me.
Oh, but she will let you spend over $2 million on her that you never spent on the other 3. And if all Janelle and Mary have to rely on is sobbing Robyn's conscience, they're in trouble. Robyn's conscience was like high-fiving Kody when he used COVID as an excuse to not see anyone for 2 years. Hilariously, during the Robyn I'm so shocked face scene, she actually grabs a pen and multiple times attempts to get Kody's attention with this pen. I think because she's like trying to get him to read a note or something. Avoid the clap, Jimmy. Huh?
I'm only legally a third owner of one of the 4 parcels. I don't understand why the property got divided the way that it did.
Mary, what don't you understand? He put his and Robyn's names all over everything on purpose so that they would have more choices and potentially walk away with more money. Does she think this was an accident? Oops, accidentally put mine and Robyn's name all over everything. How'd that happen? Well, I don't have any whiteout, so.
I know that Kody's name is on every single property, and I know Robyn's is on 3. So they own the monopoly.
Mary Mary tells Kody we need to get an appraisal to find out what the lots are worth.
Me to know, and all of us to know, like, what property is worth, like, different parts of it.
And Kody grips the table like, whoa, whoa, Mary, whoa.
Gosh, I mean, we have to have somebody who's a land appraiser.
I mean, we'd have to, like, talk with words and stuff to a person. We'd have to Google. It'd be a whole thing.
No, I'm sure they have those in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Clearly, Kody is excavating his brain right now for a way to stop this from happening. But he can't come up with anything other than looking at the ceiling and saying, oh, well, if we hired an appraiser, then we would have to hire an appraiser.
When Mary first started saying we should get it appraised, I had no problem with it. I was like, yeah, let's make sure. I don't want to just sit here and guess. Let's make sure it's fair.
And the second half of that sentence is, it's fine if it's not fair. What's fair? Fair's overrated.
I don't
We've got
understand
4
the
partners
why.
that all have different goals.
We got 4 people. Never mind, 2 of us are married. Forget that. Nobody talk about that. But we got 4 people, and I got goals. Like keeping some property for my kids. And making sure Robyn's kids, all my kids, have something to inherit. Finally, somebody comes in and says it.
I believe that Kody is resistant getting an appraisal because he knows he's making out like a bandit now.
Bingo! Cody's always had this thing when it comes to Coyote Pass about, the lots with the trees are worth more. Or maybe it's less. Maybe he thinks the lots with the trees are worth less. I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. It's all a load of crap. Cody's not an appraiser. He has no idea what he's talking about. He just wants to make off with as much money as possible, and Janelle can smell that from a mile away, like a dirty diaper that Cody's never changed.
I have to look out for myself. If it gets to the point that I would need an attorney, I would do that.
We're at the point. Actually, we passed the point a long time ago.
All right, if there's one thing besides Cody's greed this fan base loves to talk about, it's his horrible hair. And I have got to talk about this moment at the end of the episode. Kody walks into frame looking like Nude Lena the lunch lady, then yanks the hairnet off so we get a side angle of just how much of a pullover Cody's pulling over. And it is bad. He's got like 3 tiny bunches of hairs that he's bleaching, scrunching the shit out of, then spreading out thin to cover like all sides and angles of his hair.
Yeah. Don't be jealous.
Don't be jealous of my trace noodles, Scott. Scott, you could have this too if you wanted, Just grow those sideburns out like I did. I see some fuzzies on top of your hair. All it needs a little scrunching. And you could have this look too. I have one more thing I want to talk about, and that's what happened on a chair at Savannah's graduation party. After Christine explains that all the kids were too lazy to memorize a flash mob dance, we are presented with Maddie standing on a chair doing this. Bitch's face is my face. And I've been listening to Maddie's podcast a lot, so right now I feel like very team Maddie, but wow. Just wow. As usual, Kody is going to end another Sister Wives episode obsessing over and attempting to protect his precious favorite, Robyn.
So Christine and Janelle, they trash talk me behind my back. I'm bugged to no end by that.
But then they trash talk me behind my back. Get over it. Oh my God. They just are out there saying the truth. He favored Robyn. That's literally just what happened. You spent $2 million on her, okay? Give me a break. And you are trashing them for just outing you and saying the truth. That's what you're mad about. It's not about the trash or the dumpster or the garbage ladies. It is about they outed you for being a horrible husband.
It's like, fine, move on. Just stop blaming Robyn.
Do whatever you want to me. Just leave my precious Robyn alone. Leave her alone. Oh, don't hurt my precious Robyn.
Mary calls me, and I answer the phone, and I jump.
Liar!
I'm very happy with the idea of just growing old together with Robyn.
Well, they may be getting all the money, but it is at a cost. And that cost is the whole world hating them. And I think that really bothers the two of them.
I'm worried that somehow this will mean that you start favoring Robyn or balance of...
Then I'm going to ride off with her into the sunset. I'm not going to leave.
I actually think Kody is already thinking about riding off into the sunset here. Like, that's my interpretation of his face. Like, he's like, I am thinking about riding off into the sunset with Robyn.
We're not riding off in the sunset.
Remember this, Kody? Because I remember this. You and Robyn acted like it was the craziest idea in the world that y'all might walk off into the sunset together. Even Cody's brother remembers.
Riding off into the sunset with Robyn.
Well, they were always walking off into the sunset together with their $2.2 million. The only difference now is everybody can see it. All right, this was such a fun video for me to make. I really enjoyed digging in the dirt and finding out exactly how much money Kody has spent on Robyn over the years that he never bothered spending even a fraction of on the other three. And honestly, I think I greatly underestimated all of those prices. I wouldn't be shocked if it was actually double that, if it was closer to 3 or 4 million. Because remember, this is just the stuff we know about from them filming a couple of times a year. All right, well, I am Amanda. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing, and I will see you in a bit.